Ladies and gentlemen, investors await earnings from Nio, Tesla, SPY, and TQQ. Market stagnation expected due to earnings anticipation. Analysts predict Nio will remain balanced with potential upside. I want to understand what's happening with Nio, Tesla, SPY, and the video QQQ. I want to discuss its technical aspects, what's currently happening, and some very important things to watch with tomorrow's earnings, because we have some very significant earnings tomorrow. So I will explain everything and talk about some significant data, and then we have some important Fed speakers coming in the next few days. So let's see what's happening with Nio in the market. Nio closed almost flat, up by 0.12%. The market gave it a good push at the start, but it slowed down gradually, and SPY closed flat. So Nio essentially tracks SPY and QQQ, but QQQ was a bit weaker because it closed in the red due to synchronization with Apple. Now, moving on to different tickers. I just want to say that the market currently seems stagnant because we are waiting for some significant earnings, and this trend could continue until some big earnings come in. So I will explain what these earnings are and why they could be a reason for significant movements tomorrow, and then we'll see how the market moves. First, let's talk about these earnings. Tomorrow, before the market opens, ASML, Morgan Stanley, and several other banks, including Ally Bank and Nasdaq, will announce earnings. These will be important, especially for Morgan Stanley and some banks. And then, even more important and impactful in my opinion are the big earnings to be announced after the market closes, such as Tesla and Netflix. Tesla will be a major event that will likely cause a significant move. For this, you need to be prepared and watch the market data. I just want to say that tomorrow we have data for the 30-year mortgage rate coming out. We'll see how that looks and how expensive it is on average. Besides that, we have some building permits data in the morning. Apart from that, there's not much significant data. However, a few hours after the market opens, Waller, Williams, and Bauman will give speeches along with Beige and Harker. Absolutely, you may have several Fed speakers. We will see what they have to say. And then, okay, we also have a 20-year bond auction. So if this indicates that it's increasing, you can understand that yields may rise, and this could slow down the market. If not, perhaps it won't have as much of an impact on the market. However, the last time the 30-year bond auction happened, it had a significant impact on the market. So prepare yourself for that, just for safety. And one last thing, folks, I just want to remind you that on Thursday, we have the opportunity to hear initial jobless claims and a speech from Jerome Powell. They'll be speaking at noon Eastern Time, so we'll see what they have to say on Thursday. I just wanted to give you a heads up about that. So tomorrow, we have several Fed speakers and some bond auction data coming in. But the most significant thing is that, especially for Tesla, earnings are coming, especially after the market closes. Now for Nio, there's some news that on October 11th, Nio Netherlands launched their 8th battery swap station. This is good news for them because it's a part of the Netherlands, and they now have the 27th power swap station in Europe. This will give them more exposure and have a significant impact on their growth. Besides, there's news that Nio has started ET5 set-in deliveries in Europe in 4 different markets. And this could be good news for them as they're gaining more popularity there. It's possible they could expand to different European markets, from Germany to many other countries. As they advance, their solid-state batteries have received praise and are proving helpful in enhancing their capabilities. So this is good news for Nio. And as they expand with their solid-state batteries in Europe, it might improve their range and other aspects that could be helpful in selling and supporting various activities. When it comes to Nio, Deutsche Bank has a buy rating for Nio. The price ratio is a bit flat right now. And finally, Nio has a tendency to be around 56% green on Wednesdays, so we hope Nio performs well. Apart from that, we're not seeing any major changes. We've only seen about 18 million volumes, which is quite low. So let's see what Nio does. We're getting a bit tight for the market, so I'm hoping for some interesting developments. As for Nio, what happens with it may depend on earnings. Big bank earnings are coming. If we get some poor earnings, we might start a bit weaker. If we start very strong, The market may go up and then come down. I think we'll remain relatively balanced. All this may depend on earnings. I think Nio will stay in a range tomorrow, around the support at 8.25 and near the resistance at 8.7. And I think it's very likely that it will maintain this trend, but still end up a little in the green. Depending on earnings, Nio may go up towards 8.7, or maybe even go near 8.8, surpassing it, and then it might dip a little into the green again, or Nio may come down a bit more from 8.25 to around 8.3, and then balance towards 8.6 and turn slightly green. We have developed a strong structure resembling an inverse and shoulders pattern, and there is potential upside for Nio due to the imbalances we have, which can attract it towards the $9 area. That's why I sense an upside coming. I think it could turn green tomorrow, but with earnings, there might be some indecision, so it might be a bit flat initially. Therefore, it might go up, then come down a bit to form a small green band or something different. These are the things I'm currently watching for Nio. Let's look at SPY. It's behaving quite similarly to what's happening with Nio because we have recession shoulders, but we are essentially not doing much. We're pretty stationary and getting tighter over time. It all depends on earnings. If you get very strong earnings tomorrow, we could go up to 438.5 for SPY, but if we can't break through, we have some tough resistance that could reject SPY and make it go flat again. If you get bad earnings tomorrow, we might be looking at 433.5 or 433 for SPY. If buyers come in, they might just try to keep it flat. I think this is very likely because the market has been quite flat for the past few days. Nothing significant is happening, and the market is sideways and stationary, and it can stay flat while waiting for earnings. Now regarding Tesla, we have a bullish divergence. It's more like a double bottom structure. So, I think it will try to move towards the 260 area and then come back to form a flat band. This is the most likely scenario. The close could be slightly green. I believe buyers will try to do something positive in this before earnings. But I'm not saying anything final about what will happen after earnings, and we are prepared to see that. Let's talk about Apple. I just want to mention that Apple has a significant head and shoulders pattern. I'm only talking about the 4-hour time frame here. We have a head and shoulders pattern that has developed, and it looks a bit weak on the 4-hour time frame. Apple has been on quite a downtrend. So you might see it go up to around 177 or almost 178, perhaps according to the earnings opening. Then it might continue to trend down and go towards 176.5. Apple has been making lower highs and lower lows, so it's more likely to go to 176.5. I believe it will attempt to go towards 178 first, then get rejected and come down to 176.5 and form a flat band. I also have a similar view on QQQ. It looks quite flat to me. I think it will try to go towards 370 in the morning and then head straight towards 368. If that doesn't work out, we might look at 366, and then there might be a bounce, followed by a very flat close. I think it will stay quite stationary until earnings approach, and earnings will be a major factor in determining our moves. As for Nvidia, there is a potential head and shoulders pattern on the 4-hour time frame, but some may have a different view on it, and it's not guaranteed. However, Nvidia currently appears somewhat bearish. I understand that you're describing a pattern that resembles a descending triangle. However, it's not very clear due to the lower wick. Therefore, I can say that Nvidia appears somewhat bearish. It's likely to be around 442 tomorrow, maybe shortly after opening. Then it could face rejection and drop to around 430, potentially ending up slightly in the red. So there's still a real possibility for Nvidia. Anyways, I just wanted to add that. Anyways, let's go back to Nio, as I mentioned earlier. There's a good accumulation structure here that can develop. We can try to balance it, and for some time, we can be stuck in this range. I believe that we should try to pump Nio. It will depend on when we open because it depends on earnings. But I believe Nio will close green tomorrow. So if we fall, Look for buyers around 8.25 who will help push it back up. If we immediately start pumping, there's a good chance of a quick pump around 8.8, then it might come back with a little green. I believe there's a good chance for Nio to go up. I think Nio will close somewhat flat, but there will be a green zone somewhere. And then it will be influenced by further consumer discretionary earnings. Thank you for joining us today. If you enjoyed the video, don't forget to hit the like button and subscribe to our channel for more stock predictions and market insights. Remember to turn on the notification bell so you never miss an update. Happy investing and see you in the next video.